just brought down my actual working time. Like, okay, it's 9 to 5. If it's a holiday, I'll take the holiday. If I work on holidays, people call me if I want to take any other day off, they call me. So let me take the day off with everyone else.
And I was like, isn't your business going to drop? He's like, yeah, it's going to drop. He's like, but I have to deal with less people and I make the same amount of money. And those people will come back eventually because they still want my food. So the same concept applies to your service. If you have 50 leads, you could probably triple your prices, and you only need to close 4 of them, and you've just quadrupled your income.
Let's say there's a specific firm that you want to work with. You, like Rob said, just send them something ahead. Here's a check for $1,000. They're like, what's this for? Yeah. Oh, it's for when you refer me business. Yeah. That's how you get into the door of a lot of other firms.
Hey.
All right, Cheryl, what's going on?
Hey.
So we're excited to have Cheryl. Cheryl's our good friend. How long have you been an architect?
I've been, let's see. Well, I graduated college in 2006. So I've been in the industry in construction, owner's rep, since right after college. And then since 2014, I went back to architecture.
Nice.
So, and I don't know if you edit this, but
we don't edit. Everything stays in here. Whatever you say is staying.
Okay, great. No, well, technically, I should this disclaimer. I can't call myself an architect until I'm licensed.
Really?
Yeah, and so that includes an accredited degree, work experience, which is like 3,600 hours or so.
Wow.
And then 7 exams.
Wow.
So I'm on my 6th exam, and then I have the California board.
Okay.
And then I'm officially licensed.
So what are you right now?
I'm a designer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I pretty much do what an architect
But you can still
does.
do all the calcalations and everything for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just can't advertise myself as like I'm an architect, but I do residential design.
Is that a California thing or a federal thing?
It's a federal thing.
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
But if I were working at a firm, they would call me an architect because that's my training and that's the path I'm on. So
3,500 hours.
Yeah.
Damn, that's nuts. How long does that take?
It was like 3 years.
Oh,
maybe.
okay.
Not too much.
I guess you're
don't
right.
know.
That's not that much.
It's not too much. And then I started kind of late because right after college, I was like, I don't want to be an architect. So I went into like development, construction management.
Okay.
My first project was I worked for this company in San Diego, and they did a lot of like R&D facilities. Like Pfizer was one of our clients.
Wow.
Oh, interesting.
And my first project to manage was a fence to keep out all the rioters.
The rioters at Pfizer?
They would pour like, because they did animal testing. They would pour like red paint on the building. So it was a security thing. So I was like, 6 foot.
So people haven't liked Pfizer for a long time.
Yeah, that was back
So you built that wall. That was you.
2014.
No, not at the border. But security.
Interesting.
So you went to San Diego State or UCSD?
No, I went to Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo.
Wow.
Nice. Oh, that's like the biggest architect school in the country,
yeah,
right?
1 in 5. Back then, 1 in 5 architects in California graduated from there. I think it's probably different now, but that's where I got my accredited degree. And then in San Jose, San Diego, Woodbury University had this architect developer master's program. So it was like a master's in architecture, but an emphasis on real estate development. So yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
So what was your plan, like going to college and then going through? You went to your master's right after, or did you have a little bit delay?
I went right after.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you went for your master's, and then what was kind of like did you want to like run your own thing or work for a big firm? I imagine there's like the big 3, right?
Oh yeah, there are the big firms in architecture, like KB. At that time, there was firms like that did all the tract homes, like KB Homes, like those types of projects, or in San Francisco. There's like there's the big firms that have been around for like hundreds of years. But no, after, architecture school for like 6 years, it just like, it's brutal. Like one time I stayed up for like 36 hours.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Just like, I was young and dumb, like thinking that more time would make it like my project better. But once you reach that point, it's like, oh, I need to go to sleep.
Yeah.
But so I was burnt out after college, and then I thought, and then I wasn't enticed by the starting salary at that time. So I'm like, let me get into construction management or owner's rep.
What was the salary at the time? The starting salaries?
Oh gosh, I think it was like 40 something.
That's not bad.
Damn.
Oh.
40,000?
Yeah, but 2006.
2014, right?
2007.
That's not bad.
Is it?
That's low.
I don't know. I thought that was pretty low.
That's like $20 an hour, $18 an hour in California.
In California with a master's degree.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. So
It's
it
less
was
than
like
teachers. Teachers start out higher.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, the profession of architecture has been around for ages.
Yeah.
So prior to all these requirements that they, just to get my license, like back in the day, it was like an apprentice thing where you'd work with someone and then become an architect that way. So I just, I went into construction management.
Okay.
And then they offered me like 65,000 at that time, which was like, oh, okay, that's nice.
It's more manageable.
It's more manageable. But then I got sick of working in that corporate environment, and those two residential towers once you're on the Bay Bridge, and you get off on like the first exit at Fremont, they're like white and blue.
I think I've seen them.
Yeah, they're like 60 stories high.
Okay.
They're luxury condos.
Yeah.
So when I moved from San Diego back here, it was the same company. They had an office here and in San Diego.
Yeah.
So it was a seamless, like, oh yeah, I'm moving back home, and then I had the same position, like assistant project manager.
And that was their office?
No, it was my first project here in the Bay Area that I worked on, and it was just going through the punch list, every single condo, like marking, like, oh, a little ding here.
You walk around with the blue tape, put it all over the place.
Yeah, exactly.
I think those are really nice though, right?
They are.
At the time, they were like the luxury. I remember my ex-boss, I think they got the place there.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. And I remember I walked in, and the carpet was like some Egyptian some stuff. You know what I mean? It was so soft. I'm like, oh, can I lay here? I was like,
I
okay.
can sleep right here. This is nicer than my bed.
Yeah, it's nicer than my bed. Yeah.
Yeah, I would take naps on that carpet.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
So what happened after that? You got back to the Bay Area.
After that, I ended up just quitting that job, like right after we got married, or I married.
How long did you last?
So you started a family, right?
Well, 2008 we got married, so I met my high school sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's somewhat we're going.
Wait,
on.
so what's the story on that?
Well, actually, he was a big part of my career path.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
we met our junior year at Logan.
Okay.
James Logan High School in Union
Yeah.
City. I was a cheerleader, and
You were a cheerleader?
I was a cheerleader.
Was he a football player?
He was a football player.
Oh my!
I know, but the
Varsity Blues,
yeah,
right
Varsity
here.
Blues. But the catch, he was a receiver. No,
There you go.
we were in the same honors chemistry class. So that was like, that was weird. Like, oh, a football player in honors chemistry. So, and then our last names are similar. My maiden name is Lipang, Lipang.
Okay.
And then his last name is Lima. So we got put in the same chemistry
The group, right?
experiment group. Yeah,
Okay.
it was the two of us and this other guy, Shang Li, Li.
Wow.
So he was like the third wheel, and then it's all history from there.
So you guys dated through high school.
I dated through high school, and then he also got accepted into Cal Poly.
Okay.
And for aerospace engineering.
Yeah.
Wow.
But like 2 weeks before, or not even maybe a few months, like right after we graduated high school, he found the book or stumbled upon Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Great book. Yeah.
I'm sure you guys know.
So he
very
didn't go to
well.
college.
No, he did.
Okay.
He did, but it was just like.
We're gonna have to bring Julio on.
Yeah, you need to bring Julio. Yeah. But he was all about like, cash flow and working for yourself, entrepreneurship, and I think he joined the entrepreneurship club at Cal Poly.
Yeah.
And then he realized he wanted to go into business, so that's so he was like on a different path instead of engineering.
Yeah.
And then I was raised with like, get good grades,
Go to
Go to school.
Get a job.
Yeah, get a job.
Pay your taxes. Buy a house.
Yes.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Robert Kiyosaki. Yeah, and then Robert Kiyosaki
I butchered
came.
it, but
No, yeah. And so we were a lot of like, well, what if you, because I love architecture and designing and all that. Like, no, I like this. Like, I could have this as a full-time job. Like, I don't mind working for someone. But then just, that constant like, oh, there's a whole nother world out there. Yeah. Got me interested in real estate development. I didn't even know what developers did. Yeah. Or what that was. Cause and then it hit me in college. I'm like, oh, you could, cause I had a professor say, yeah, he spent 14 years working on a project. Wow. And it never got built. And I thought that was just like devastating. Yeah. Like, why would it never get built? And then it's because of finances, the money, the ownership, there's that whole business side of it. So then
is that like the highest level in real estate, like to become a developer?
We're talking commercial real estate?
Like commercial real estate, like a real estate developer, they're the ones who hire me to like, they see a piece of land, they're like, okay, I'm going to build a hotel here. Wow. So I need the financing, I need an architect, engineers, everyone. They put the whole team together and then they, finance with either their own money or a loan and then see it all the way through.
Wow, that's a long...
We should connect her with our guy in lean construction.
Yeah.
Because he does a lot of like big commercial projects, like $2-3 billion projects.
Wow.
Like huge projects. And I don't know, maybe they're looking for architects.
Have my license soon.
Yeah. Oh, you have to have your license probably for those. Yeah.
Yeah, that but no, I'm getting there. That's the next
You're going to text me. I got my license.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Anyway, sorry, go ahead. Interrupted.
No, it's fine. So once I got more interested in the business side of it because of Julio, I started a minor in city and regional planning and property development. So I'm just one credit shy of having that on my diploma, but I'm like, no, I'm not gonna deal with that. Who cares?
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
So it doesn't matter, but yeah. So because of Julio's influence, I was always that got me on this side of the working force.
So 2007, you were in San Francisco now, or you're back in the Bay
back
Area?
Home, back in the Bay Area.
And then you started a family.
Well, we got married. 2008.
Okay.
Yeah, I was young.
Yeah, and then you started.
I was still working in project management, and then 2010. That's when Cassandra was born.
Yeah, nice.
And then fast forward. I was just getting tired. Or I worked for a local developer, real estate developer. He converts, at that time, he would take old warehouses and convert them to lofts. So they were pretty cool. Like there's some, all over in San Francisco, Oakland. Nice. That's like the ultimate green buildings, like taking an existing building and turning it into really cool lofts. Like they're... Yeah.
And they add like a lot of lighting and such too, right? So you don't really need as much power.
Windows and stuff. Yeah.
Like Berkeley has a bunch of them, right?
Yeah, Berkeley. I think they have one in Walnut. I forget, but now he's in like factory built housing. So that's the next phase of construction.
Really,
it's pretty cool. Yeah,
they just deliver the whole house.
They build it like in blocks.
Wow.
Like some factories, like there's one in Patterson. I just heard of. They could take this house, divide it into like 16 by 72 foot modules. Yeah. And build it to where like the toilet's already in, tile, everything.
Really?
Yeah.
They just deliver it.
And you know what the
comes on trailers?
Yes. And the best part is inspections happen at the factory.
Wow.
Really?
And they go by, if you want to be a developer.
Yeah. It's like, let's go. So it's like it's like a large scale manufactured home essentially.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's not considered. It's not, as far as like the loan and valuation, it's not considered like a manufactured home. Gotcha. It's because the foundation is permanent. Okay. So while the foundation's being built, they're in the factory, putting laying out the floors, walls, everything.
That's probably the way of the future.
Oh yeah. And then
that's how they'll get rid of all the contract. Well, the listening contractors to put it all together.
But everything's in the factory, and this factory, it's like. They're into sustainability too, so it's 100% off the grid. Wow! All electric. Nice. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and then they come once it's all the foundation's ready. They come and they just deliver it and lock it into place, and like cuts down on construction. And
that's crazy.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. I mean, just this has taken me a couple weeks, and I haven't even. All I've done is paint and redid the bathroom.
Yeah.
So we're at 2008 or 2010. So you got married, had to started a family, and then so then we transitioned from W2 into.
Oh, so where that transition started, or no, I realized, around 2013, I was kind of tired of working in real estate or owners, construction. It was just somehow I got pigeonholed into like financing and working on the construction draws.
Okay.
And that was just like,
that's the boring stuff.
oh, it's so boring.
Shoot me.
Yeah, it was nice, like, having so much control, like sending out checks and stuff to all the vendors. But like 3:00 in the afternoon, I was like, oh, I was dragging and I couldn't stand it. And then I think Julio started in real estate around that time, and his broker needed some help with his house, and I guess Julio mentioned that I studied architecture. I knew architecture. Yeah. So I started taking on side jobs, like moonlighting, doing drafting. Yeah. And that's when
you were the first side hustler. Because side hustles kind of became a big thing probably about 5-6 years ago, but you started in 2013.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, like I was trying out different things too. Like even I thought I wanted to get into hospitality. Oh. So I had a friend who she was in hospitality. She worked for the wine group. Okay. They manage Con Cannon in Livermore.
Yeah, been there? Nice place. Yeah.
So I worked at the tasting room for a year. Like,
really?
Oh, this is fun. Yeah.
While you were doing the construction job?
While I was, So on the weekends, it was just like weekends, like few hours, like pouring wine, getting
moonlighting, pouring wine.
Yeah, I was moonlighting too, and then I was doing the drafting jobs, and I'm like, oh my god, like I would stay up all night, like working on that, and then I'd wake up, maybe go to bed at like 4 a.m.
Oh no!
Wow. Wake up at 6, and then, but I just felt so energized. Yeah. Well, also I was how many years younger?
It's more rewarding working for yourself.
It was, right? And then I just noticed how like time just flew working on design stuff. Like I wanted to be an architect since I was 9 or 8.
9 years old? Really?
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Like, how does a 9-year-old want to be an architect?
I know most architects know at an early age, but so when I was younger, I just loved drawing. I would always draw. I liked having my crayons like in order by color of the rainbow and stuff like that.
What happens if like mom or someone put them out of order?
Oh heck no! Yeah, it was. I get so mad. Like I had this case where each crayon had its own little compartment. It was like
serious business.
Yeah, I loved like my little art, tools, and then school, was easy. It wasn't hard, so it was okay. Like I loved I didn't love school, but I loved learning. Yeah. And then my dad had noticed that he was a mechanical engineer. Okay. And he had like graphic standard books, and I loved just like looking at it, and all the like drafting little nuts and bolts and stuff was pretty cool, like how they're laid out like in blueprints, and then one day he's like, oh, you should be an architect, because I like drawing, and then math. I was good at math. Well, I don't think I'm good at math anymore.
You got calculators now.
Yeah, and then. We'd go to San Francisco once in a while, and I just love, like when you drive in between the skyscrapers, I was just like, I'd always stare up at them like in amazement of like how, humans can build such like tall structures. Yeah. And then in middle school, I went to Cesar Chavez Middle School. They had a career day. Actually, my dad passed when I was 11, so I didn't really like think of anything of it until there was a career day when I was like 12 or 13, 7th grade in Cesar Chavez, and someone's dad was an architect, and he came and showed his hand watercolor drawing of this building. I was like, oh my god, yes, I want to do that.
Yeah, that is your future.
Yeah, and awesome. Then in high school, I took drafting. Our high school had a drafting class, so I did that, and then from there I learned about Cal Poly had like a summer program where you could learn about architecture and architectural engineering. And then I was like, yeah, I'm doing this.
That was it. You're
in.
Yeah. The only thing I really know about architecture is, you ever read the Fountainhead?
No, I
by
haven't.
Ayn Rand?
Yeah. Have
really
you read
good
it?
book. I would definitely recommend it.
I've started it. I have it on my Kindle. But
it's long. Yeah. That's what I did. I did Audible. So I was like, it's a long book.
Maybe I should do Audible.
It's good.
Yeah. I've read that her other book, Anthem.
I don't think I've read that one.
That's a good one. It's more well, it is the Fountainhead's fiction too.
It is fiction, yeah.
Anthem is like, it's more like courageous, like, or encouraging, like, to get out there and
well, a lot of her books are like that. It's like they're pushing people to kind of, pursue what you want to do, pursue what you're passionate about. They're like, don't let anything get in the way. Like, sometimes bureaucracy and stuff might get in the way, but you can figure it out. There's almost always a way to figure it out. Okay, so 2013, you're working a W-2. What was that? What was that? We notice with most people, there's always a moment when they're like, screw this. I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
I think we can say the other words, but I don't know about that one.
Oh, okay. It was a clean
no, you're good. I don't know, to be honest. But yeah. What was that moment for you?
That moment, I think I've done a couple projects, like just moonlighting. Yeah. And then Julio his, income was like consistent. Yeah. And then I just felt like drained. Like I actually felt like I was wasting my boss's money. Yeah. Because there was someone else, no, he had hired like a consultant accounting firm to do bookkeeping and all that stuff. And then I was just kind of more like
managing them.
And then there was a lot of like, I don't really need to do this, like this is not a full-time job. And then, so I felt like I wasn't being like utilized to my potential, like as an employee. And it was a small company, like husband and wife, they had a few employees, like very family oriented. So one day I just like went to him like, you know what? Like, I think I need to go back to architecture. And then, he works with a lot of architects. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then later on, he's like, yeah, you're actually doing me a favor, like saving me some money. So, so I just, I had talked to Julio about it for a while. Like I was just getting tired of all the finance stuff. And so he kind of knew I was in a rut. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I just sat down and then it was like done. My boss threw me a party and,
really?
It was, I never burned any bridges.
Yeah, for sure. And that's really important too.
Yeah, especially in our industry. Like it's a small world. Like it's interesting how you come back to the same people. And
what I found that sometimes is if you have, this is your boss's situation. Sometimes when you have really good people and you might not have a full workload for them, you'll keep them aboard just because they're good people. You might not be able to have enough for them at this moment, but it's good to keep good people. So maybe that's what your boss was at. He was like, I know I don't have enough for her, but she's good and I don't want to lose her. So, but I know she's going to leave probably eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I had the training in architecture and then a little bit of construction management. I'm like, why am I doing finance stuff? True. And then, but it was good. Like I always like to just, I don't say no enough, but in a way it's helped me. Like I was a little hesitant to say yes to this, but I'm like, no, why not? Let's just
do it.
Let's just do it. And so that's how working at the winery, working with the side jobs, like that helped me like zone in on like, oh, okay, for sure I'm all in on.
So when you started your side thing, or let's say when you quit your job, like, do you have like a mentor or somebody that you kind of like guide you along the path, or how does that work?
With the side jobs,
or kind of like after you quit your W-2?
Actually, so after now thinking back, that's not when I quit my W-2. That's when I quit doing real estate development, owner's rep type stuff, or construction management. And then after like not working for like 2 months, I ended up, one of my coworker friends at the developer company that I worked at, he recommended that I work with an architect in Oakland. Okay. Who does a lot of like custom homes, very like cool, really cool design. Like you would hire him. Yeah. Barron Studio, Matt Barron, and he was like a young boss, like growing firm. So then that's when I started my work hours, the 3,600 hours, because you have to work for, it's kind of back to that apprenticeship learning. So you have to work for a licensed architect.
And it can be paid.
Oh yeah. It's just a regular W-2 job.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
I was getting paid not well.
Yeah. But they know that, right? Because you're not licensed.
But then but then it was a good opportunity. I said yes to it because like I liked his design. He was a nice guy. He was friends with my my coworker, and then so I guess I got that referral, and I didn't have too much experience working in a firm, so that's why that I think I was getting paid the $20 an hour, $22
$20 an hour,
22 I think an hour, And, so,
and we're in 2014 now, so that's pretty low.
Yeah, that was low, but I was like, okay,
But it was a risk you could take.
It was a risk. Yeah, luckily, I had the support of my husband.
Yeah.
And then I needed those hours.
Yeah.
So, and then they also needed like someone to help with the office admin stuff. So then I ended up going back into doing some finance, like invoicing.
Oh, no.
So I initially started was like doing his books. He already within a week, he already added me as a signer on his account. I was like, what? Why are you doing it? And he was like, well, because you did it for your last boss.
Because you had experience. He saw your resume. Yeah.
And he trusted me because my last boss was his client too. So then he was like,
small world.
Okay.
Yeah, it was all the like Oakland, San Francisco, like that community is pretty small. So yeah, but luckily, it got busy with, the architecture load. So then he let me start drafting and learning Revit, the 3D stuff.
What is the initial phase that an architect typically goes through when they get hired for a firm, like fresh out of college or something?
Yeah, fresh out of college, you're doing construction documents. So it's more detailed for like commercial type projects or like bigger projects. So like lighting plans or even like construction details, like for like walls or certain things like once it gets into like more custom or more specialized type spaces, like there's a lot of details, especially like for hospitals or like even around the cabinetry.
Are we talking like the framing and all that stuff, like wiring diagrams and such?
Or like special equipment. It all depends on the industry, but with that studio, it was mostly residential.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So,
that had to be a lot of fun though, doing these custom homes.
It is fun, yeah. But a lot of the clients were like investors or like developers, like creating rental units or flipping houses. Well, not too many. I get a lot of people who want to flip houses, but for like a big firm, it was custom for sale or commercial. I worked on a pizza kitchen. Have you been to Arthur Mack's Tap and Snack? It's in Oakland on 40th and MacArthur. It's that's the coworker who referred me to that firm, Cal Inman. Yeah. So he developed it's container units.
And it's a pizza joint?
Well, the whole building is like a bunch of shipping containers that businesses can rent out and have like an office or a retail space.
Are they stacked too, or just?
Yeah, they're stacked. I think it's like 3 or 4 stories, 5 stories high. And then there's like a restaurant at the corner, which is a pizza kitchen.
Very cool.
Yeah, so there's like when it comes to I'd love to get into restaurants and hospitality on the architecture side. Like a restaurant, the details are different for like a pizza kitchen versus a bakery. Yeah. Or even just like a burger joint. Yeah. Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So then you started with it. How long did you work for that job?
So that was from like 2013 to 2016, the 3 years. So that was fun. I had my second kid, my son, in 2016.
Yeah. Nico,
yes. And that was fun because like at both jobs, at my previous job, that was the first time anyone was pregnant. Oh. So for a small business, they're like, oh no, what do we do? And then it's like, no, I get paid through disability, and then you guys can hire someone else, but you can't fire me, kind of. So I got to teach both offices how to deal with pregnant people. That makes sense. But yeah, there's this one time we had an open office, and I just needed a nap, and I didn't want to. It was Oakland. I didn't want to go in my car. Yeah. So I just put my feet up on my desk and just took a nap right there. And my other coworker has a picture of me just like sleeping in the middle of the office. Yeah.
Oh no.
Like, whatever. You can't fire me.
Yeah.
Those small places though, it's
Yeah.
like they generally, as long as you're getting your work done.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
operating as a small business myself, as long as you're getting everything done, like
Yeah.
little stuff like that doesn't even matter.
Oh yeah, I never had. I was
having a
a
good
good
time.
employee. You
Yeah.
wouldn't fire me.
Yeah.
I haven't been fired. But yeah. So after that, after my Nico was born, when I was on maternity leave.
Yeah.
At the time, my mom. I don't know if you ever met my mom, but she
I
had
don't think so.
her dementia started
Oh no.
escalating. Yeah, and we lived together at the time. So when I was on maternity leave, like she would leave and like she was gone all day, and she'd come back like she had a job. I'm like, where'd you go? And she'd take the bus to like the casinos that are like 2 hours away. Yeah, and then
hang out there all day.
yeah, every day, all day. And then
Wow.
like one time Friday, like her bank statement came in the mail, and she was like, someone's stealing money from me. I'm like,
Oh, no.
no, something's happening here. So then, yeah, that's when we realized like, okay, she's like declining.
Yeah.
And then soon after, that was 2015, Nico was born. And then she just kept getting worse and worse. And then by 2016, I had accumulated all of my hours.
Yeah.
And then I would get phone calls of my mom, like, "Oh, we see your mom wandering," or like the police like would call me. I'm like,
Just
"Oh my
wandering
gosh."
around the street or something.
Yeah.
That's
Even
tough.
her at Kitayama, she'd be there, like, and then the
Wow.
teachers would tell Janet. Janet would call my sister. She would call me, and
Yeah.
then, so then as soon as it was just funny, like the same day that I got signed off on all my hours, I was like, okay, I gotta go.
You're done.
Yeah, that was it. So that was the
Wow,
final
okay.
straw. Was like my mom,
Yeah.
and then Julio, had that consistency. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let's get out of here.
Yeah, definitely.
And then so the plan was to, help my mom, be available for my mom, and then just focus and finish my exams. Like
Yeah.
I had maybe one exam out of the 7.
Do you have to space them out, or can you take
No,
them
you can take them,
back to back?
but they're pretty intense. They're like
Okay.
5-hour exams on
Wow.
all you need to know about any kind of building anywhere in the U.S.
Wow.
So I mainly work on, residential projects in this climate.
Oh, so you had to learn about.
So I'm
snow
having to learn
climates,
about
commercial.
everything. Yeah, wind loads on the East Coast. They have hurricanes. Like,
Wow.
yeah, and then so it's a lot. So there's a lot of studying that's involved. So I thought I could just hunker down and get it done. But
Yeah.
no. So like as soon as I left, I had messaged the clients that I was kind of working with, and they weren't really they had issues with my boss.
Yeah.
And I just put like, I'm on my own now because I want to help my mom.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, well, we'll just work with you directly.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it started. And
He
then
didn't make you sign like a non-compete or anything like that?
no.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't think
Yeah.
so.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. I thought that would be
Yeah.
some sort of like.
Well, we're a small company.
Yeah. They might not.
Maybe
A
now.
lot of people don't think of stuff like that.
Maybe now
Yeah.
he's thought of it. No, he's a nice guy. Like I don't think we're in competition yet.
Yeah,
I'll
no.
refer bigger projects that I can't handle to his firm.
Yeah.
And
It's a great resource to have.
Yeah,
too.
and they've referred a lot of projects to me. So
Nice. Okay.
I've been able to take on projects that no bridges burned.
Yeah. I know a lot of GCs like that. Like sometimes they'll be working on like my neighbor, he'll be working on like 3 ADUs. So
Yeah.
he won't have time for like another one. And then he'll just call up another one of his contractor friends and be like, hey, I got this big project.
Yeah. And then it works both ways. Because
Yeah,
then when
exactly.
they're busy, it's like, oh yeah, here's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I had mentioned, I had just reached out to maybe another client that I had known them previously to working at the architecture firm.
Okay.
And they're like, oh, you're on, okay. And then they started working with me.
Yeah.
So I still work with that client, but my previous boss didn't want anything to do with that client anymore. So it's,
Gotcha.
yeah. He's
So it
like,
works
"Go
out."
ahead."
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, go for it. Yeah. And then it just, the word got rolling, and the contractors, like they would share my information. So I just got really busy.
Have you worked
yeah.
mostly off of like referrals then? I
Oh,
imagine? Okay.
all referrals.
Yeah.
So I'm at a point where like I need to reach out to you guys to help me because, well, I just hired a full-time person who's he's actually my drafter I've been working with from the Philippines.
Okay, nice.
And then I just spoke with
You found a drafter in the Philippines?
Oh,
really?
through Upwork.com.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Have you used Upwork before?
Oh, I use Upwork. I use onlinejobs.ph.
Oh, yeah.
I use that a lot. I don't think they have those technical. They might have drafting on there.
Yeah, they have a lot of video editors probably.
A lot of video, a lot of copywriters, a lot of like basic like admin stuff. Executive assistants are really good for.
I need to get one of those from there because I tried working with an executive assistant in the States and they're just too much.
No.
And then
Filipinos are loyal too.
Hello, 25 years with my husband.
Right?
I'm loyal.
They're very good employees. Your SOPs just have to be like on point.
Yes.
That's the main thing.
So that's what I'm luckily like this guy that he's been working with me, like he already knows how I work.
Yeah.
So and he's super nice and talented. Like he does everything. And I've worked with other drafters where I've done the work myself, so I know when people are BSing. Like, what? That should have took you 30 minutes, an hour at the most, and they're like charging me for 8 hours. So, and I noticed like I had people come and go like that, but this guy like he was on like everything he would give to me like, wow, that only took you an hour. Like that would have taken me 10 hours.
So he's honest about his billing
he's
and everything.
Super honest. He could have easily like so he's been honest from day one.
I think that's where a lot of people mess up when they hire people remotely.
Yeah.
Is if you don't know how long the task takes, you're gonna people are gonna overbill you. They're gonna take a lot longer than you think. But if you know it takes 2 hours, then maybe you give them 3 or 4 hours, right? Which is reasonable.
Yeah.
But if you've never done the task yourself, you're not going to know that.
Right.
But what I like about Rob sometimes is like he tests people, right? So he hire a couple people and he assigns the work, you know what I mean? To see like which one do the best work.
Yeah.
And then you keep you know what I mean? Everyone's on the bench.
That's smart.
Right?
Yeah.
But
so every time you hire someone, like when you hire an executive assistant, I hire 3 of them, give them each a different task, or maybe give them each the same task to see which one kicks out the best result.
Smart.
Because a lot of online workers, like they know they can just pop online and get jobs anytime, so they don't value them as much. So finding the good ones is a little bit more challenging.
Oh wow.
I've gone through probably
too many, Rob.
500 salespeople.
Yeah.
Really?
And I have 25.
You have them doing sales.
Yeah,
and this is
sales,
remote,
like online
workers.
sales. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and then I have a full like marketing team too. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. Not a VP of marketing. I'm working on that.
Oh
That's
wow.
me.
Oh okay.
So so where are you at now? So you started in 2014, 16?
Yeah,
doing your own
2014
thing?
in architecture, 2016 on my own.
Excellent.
Yeah, and then that first year, it was like, I counted, it was like 40 projects.
Oh my God.
40.
40.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why so much?
Yeah.
Are these one-off or are these like recurring? Is there any recurring revenue?
Oh yeah.
there?
Oh no. Well, recurring clients, but that's so recurring clients like
Okay.
and then one-offs too,
Yeah.
and just all word of mouth.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is it better to take on a bigger project and do less projects, or do the tiny, or you just say yes to everything? Fuck it, let's get the money.
Yeah.
She's still figuring that
I'm
out.
still figuring that out.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm saying yes to all the little projects. Are like, yeah, why not? That's so easy. Like,
What's a little project
so
for
a
you?
little project? I guess I don't know if it's little, but like your ADU project,
Okay.
that wouldn't be little. It's like, to me, that's a full on project.
Yeah. But the frame was there already, so maybe not as
Yeah,
not as much as
nothing.
needed.
Yeah, like so. I mean, right now, I guess a little project would be one single family home or anything from a full home to an garage conversion to ADU or garage to ADU.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
What would be a
accessory
large
building.
project?
A large project would be like maybe 4 houses, like subdividing.
Like a duplex or something?
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
so that's residential. So without the license, you can do 4 residential units or less, all wood frame construction.
Okay.
But that would be large, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
I turned down one. It was actually right around the corner from here. No, they lived here, but it was like in San Leandro, their property. But I was like, I don't know if I could do that. Because once you get into 4 units, then you're dealing with, fire access and more logistics, like utilities and all that stuff. So then the detailed drawings for that, like, but eventually I'll get there. So right now I say yes to like mostly anything residential. Like a lot.
Because that's what you like, right?
Yeah, it's what I love. Like coming into a house and they're just like, you know, my kitchen's like this small and I need, you know, I'm having a third kid. It's always like they're either having a third kid or more kids, or their parents need to move in, or they want to build an ADU and live in the ADU, rent out their house. Like a lot of like life changes, and because it makes more sense.
Or like adding like a master suite.
Adding a master suite, because it makes more sense to make your house function for you than sell it and
get another place.
And get another place,
Oh, that's a good point.
If you have a good, like I have a client in, I'm realizing I need to get their permit for them. Their house, like, you know,
so you take care of the permitting too, or is that like an upsell?
No, it's I take care of the permitting.
Okay.
But I think the upsell would be like the construction and like choosing the finishes and stuff like that. But I don't really do that. Like once you get your permit, then it's like, okay, it's up to you, whatever you want to do. But I think I need to add that next piece and like help my clients make more decisions at the early stages. So when they're in construction, I'm sure it came up a lot, you know, like, oh, we didn't think of that kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. Well, it's like basic things like you like the cabinets in this layout, but then maybe the cabinet hits the fridge now.
Yeah.
Right?
Stuff
It's like
that.
you don't even think, or the drawer won't open properly because it's in this corner that you designed a little awkwardly.
Yeah.
It looks cool, but it doesn't work.
Right. So before I wouldn't even like, oh, okay, kitchen's here somewhere.
Yeah.
But now it's like, it'd be good to like, oh, this is where that Lazy Susan would go, or maybe it doesn't turn the corner. And then now I'm like looking into, okay, what are the mechanical systems? Like you need a heater, or, you know, if you do the high performance windows, like maybe that helps your energy bill. So things like that. So I'm learning more about, I need to educate myself first too on the ins and outs of that. But
and I have an interior designer that's done most of my projects, including how this will be finished.
Oh,
she
nice.
picked more expensive furniture. I had to scale it down. The sectional she picked was like $5,000 because it was designing for me. And I was like, I'll get the Amazon one for this. But she's really good. And she's in Chicago, so
nice.
And I've used her for a number of projects.
Oh, okay.
You probably have a couple though, interior designers.
Yeah, I just met one in Castro Valley, and then most of my clients they're like DIY kind of, you know, but
that's a good like upsell, right? You could be like, here's your package, here's the layout of the house, and then here's how it's gonna look.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right. And that'll sell them, right?
That's true.
Make them feel something. Here's that perfect place for your mom because she's having a hard time getting in and out. And look at how it's we got this bed that's specifically lower for her. We got this furniture, you know.
Yeah, my guy, he does renderings.
Yeah.
And then I could probably find a video editor to do those cool videos that they do on the HGTV shows.
Yeah. You could have the drone fly around and get the videos. Yeah.
Oh yeah, with the model.
AI, there's some AI stuff that does some interior design stuff too, which is really cool. Yeah.
I need to get I
don't know how good it is. So.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's like the next phase, right? Just implementing AI into everything.
Yeah. So where are you at right now? Are you relying mostly on leads or mostly on referrals? Or?
Yeah, referrals. Okay. Like every week I get a call from someone and they're like, I got your name from who's it? And I'm like, who's that? I don't even know who that is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that person. Yeah, I remember their house.
And they're like, yeah, you know this guy? I'm like, no, I don't. Like, so other architects refer me, contractors, like I've had someone refer me and I hadn't even worked with them yet. Yeah. And so it's all word of mouth.
Do you have like a whole network of architect firms that you work with that can offload their extra projects on you?
Not officially. Okay. But this last project that I visited in Alamo, they were referred to me by an architect. And I'm like, who is that? And I saw in the email, he wrote, we refer her a lot. I'm like, I need to send this guy a thank you card.
Definitely. It's Christmas time.
Yeah.
It's time to send those thank you cards, right? You want to be front of mind when they start thinking of architects.
Yeah. So that's where I'm like marketing, branding, like I've just been like that's the last thing I'm thinking of. Yeah. But I know I'm like, if I were to get proactive about like, imagine how that could be like
you're definitely leaving like a lot of money on the table, right? That's something that I learned from Rob, you know?
Yeah.
And like even referral, like you can literally learn so much about it. Like, you know, let's say there's a specific firm that you want to work with or whatever, right? And you want business from them. You, like Rob said, just send them something ahead, you know? Or here's a check for $1,000. They're like, wait, what's this for?
Yeah.
Oh, it's for when you refer me business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how you get into the door of a lot of other firms, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't know in your industry.
Like contractors.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
small stuff,
Huge.
just like sending Christmas gifts,
Yeah.
right? Like sending, like if you, especially if you know something that they like send a Christmas gift.
Oh man, too much.
I should order cookies for Steve,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, so you order
didn't think
cookies
about
from
that.
Steve. It's my
Yeah.
family business, right? You send him
Yeah.
have him make you a couple baskets for your clients that refer you the most people,
Yeah.
right? Because then they're gonna think of you even more.
Oh.
And because these are big ticket things, right?
They
That you're
are,
getting when you're getting clients. So it's
Yeah.
and then another thing is like the more leads you bring in, say you have like how many leads on average do you get per month now?
Oh, at least like 4. I don't
4.
know.
Wow.
So imagine if you
Just word
increase
of
that
mouth.
number to like 20 or 30 leads per month.
Oh man.
No, you're not going to work all of them, but now you're going to double your prices. You're going to double your price. You're still only going to take on 4 projects,
Yeah.
but then 10 of those people might agree to those doubled prices, which now you have the
Yes.
ability to support more staff. You have the ability to support and grow a lot more.
Yeah.
So the key is, with it, I tell everyone this. It's always the same. We have this conversation all the time. You need volume, right?
Wow.
Because imagine if you had 100 leads.
Yeah.
You could quadruple your prices,
Yeah.
and probably 10 of them would agree to it.
I
But
never
if you only
thought
have
of it that
4,
way.
And you work less now.
if you only have 4, you have to take every job
Yeah.
that pretty much comes to you, right?
Wow.
Versus if you have 100.
Look at Cheryl. She's like
Yeah.
mind blown.
That's why I say yes to everything.
Yeah.
I knew there was like, I don't know why I never thought of that. I
It's just a
assume,
numbers game.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a
I
numbers
just
game.
assume like, oh, everyone's gonna be knocking at my door, and I can't handle 20 projects. But
You don't have to handle 20 projects.
even though I do
You're
have
gonna-
20
you're
projects
gonna
right now.
You're going to double your prices because you offer a premium service.
Yes.
Right? You offer all these extra upsells, which you can, you know how to market, right?
Yeah.
And then,
No, I don't.
but you have all these extra upsells that you
Yeah.
can, bonuses, right? That are maybe normal things that you have, but then you're going to position it in such a way to where it sounds like a premium or a high price service, right? Yeah, you can go with the cheaper guy. You know, I know some cheaper guys. You can go with them,
Yeah.
right? And in the back of their mind, they're going to go to sleep. I don't want the cheaper person. I want to go. I want to go with
I
Cheryl.
want Cheryl. I want Cheryl.
Because so I learned this probably about 10 years ago. I was working in a cafe, and there's a cafe in Berkeley, and this is kind of where I started learning about business. My mentor, I guess you say, one of my first mentors, and he was he charged like pretty much everything on his menu was about $9.95, right? And then one day I came in and everything was like $11.95, and he was like, and he was always busy. He was making about $6,000 a day in revenue,
Oh my
which is
God.
good for a cafe,
Jesus.
right? Yeah, they made like 1.8 million or 1.5 million a year for a cafe
Cafes.
revenue.
Berkeley,
revenue.
right?
Yeah, yeah. So then he raised everything like 20%, and I was like, "Isn't your business gonna drop?" He's like, "Yeah, it's gonna drop." He's like, "But I have to deal with less people, and I make the same amount of money." And he's like, "And those people will come back eventually
Wow.
because they still want my food."
Yeah.
So the same concept applies to your service.
Wow.
If you have 50 leads, you could probably triple your prices, and you only need to close 4 of them, and you've just quadrupled your income.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm glad this is recorded. I need to listen to that.
It's
Wow.
just a volume game, and
Oh,
that's how it is with
man.
everyone. Like
Yeah.
even in real estate, I tell people you just need numbers. You just need
Yeah.
like even for me when I start reaching out for like coaching clients, right? Like
Yeah.
you just need volume. That's all
Yeah.
it is. And the people that are winning, they have tons of volume.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just
Wow.
how you position yourself too, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Because-
Branding, right?
Yeah.
Or-
Branding,
Yeah.
you know, like, or have a book, right?
Yeah.
Because that book, now you can use that book to get on all different podcasts, right?
Yeah.
Get on stage now.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So that's more skills, right?
Yeah.
So definitely like establishing yourself as the authority, right?
Yeah.
Especially just within Bay Area alone. Like
Yeah.
Rob tells me all the time, like there's so much money here.
Yeah.
You know, because I live in
Yeah.
Ecuador, right?
much
So he's
money.
like,
You live in
what?
Ecuador?
I live in Ecuador.
Oh,
So he's
wow.
like, "Wha-
He comes and we shoot for a couple months, and
Yeah.
then he goes, and then he comes back.
Wow. What brought you to Ecuador?
His story's long. We
oh
can
yeah,
go
it's gonna
to
be a long story. Yeah, yeah.
So
Let's,
you
let's
speak Spanish?
You give the
then?
give the abbreviated.
Oh.
You give the abbreviated version.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've always wanted to live in Latin America,
Oh, okay.
right? So growing up, I always had the dream, right?
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until like 3 years ago when I accepted a job in Honduras
Oh.
to become a resort manager, right?
Wow.
So
Oh,
I-
hospitality.
Yeah, so I was like,
Yeah.
so when she said hospitality, I was like, no, fuck that.
Yeah.
But but the boss that I work for, she used to be the VP of Marriott, you know, so she was
Oh.
obsessed about like experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she would like come to hotels and she would like, oh, the lighting is not right,
Yeah.
the smell is not right. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know, so she was obsessed about the little details,
Yeah.
and that's something I learned from her, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, long story short, that's when I live in Mexico, right?
Uh-huh.
Colombia, and then now Ecuador.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband's Guatemalan, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love
It's
Guatemala.
Guatemala,
That's my
yeah.
favorite country.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. And
Beautiful.
the coffee.
Yeah.
They don't even care. Like the locals are like, oh, who cares?
They
but
think
you
it's gross.
taste it and like, this is so good.
But you know, like that's
you
the
don't
thing.
need cream or sugar or
Nothing.
anything.
Yeah.
Like the best coffee, they ship it to here. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The worst one, the bad one, they stay in the country.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. It's okay.
Because we'll pay top dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. But let's get back to you.
Oh.
Yeah. So architect since 2016, and you just
Yeah.
pull in projects. Do you still do mostly residential?
Yeah, mostly residential. Like here and there, I've done the, the Pie Dreams. That's someone you could interview.
Pie Dreams? What is that?
Ricky Davis.
Ricky Davis?
Yeah, we went to high school together, but I met him a few times in high school, but we got connected through a mutual friend. But he started making pies like in his free time, like similar to Steve. And then one thing led after another, and like a few. Thanksgivings ago, he was like making 500 pies. And
Really?
He's like, I need to.
Ricky Davis?
Ricky Davis.
Okay.
Yeah, Pie Dreams.
Ricky
Yeah,
Davis,
he's a
Pie
local legend. Everyone loves his pies.
Well, we're gonna look him up. We're gonna look at. Let's see if he's free next weekend.
Oh yeah.
We want his phone number. I'll just
Yeah,
send it to
I'll,
you can make the connect for
I'll
us.
do a group text. Yeah.
There you go.
Thank
But
you.
he's really good about doing his own mark. I mean, like
Yeah.
Instagram, I think helped blow up his business.
There's
Oh,
so
did
much.
I
This
turn
is this is like the number one time to make like you get free attention right now, right? We're in the digital gold rush 100%. So it's like, and it's all going to happen for the next 5 or 10 years. So I always tell people create content, even if maybe you don't want to be the face of the content. So you just take stuff of your take
Your
videos
design.
of your project.
Okay.
So like when you're working or when you're going and doing job sites and job
Right.
walks.
Are you allowed to do that? Like recording, let's say you're drafting something, can you record
Well,
that?
yeah, like
And
I mean,
post it
my
online?
plans are my property or like
Oh,
intellectual property.
like your
Yeah.
IP. Okay.
Yeah, my IP. So like, yeah, technically, I could when people ask for plans, I should charge them for it. Like if they want to, like, say you sold your house, and then they ask for the plans, like.
Oh,
I could sell it to them.
Oh, good.
If you didn't want to give it to them.
Yeah. I'll give it to them.
Yeah.
I have all the files. I still have my master. It's on my project. It's on my project list. I got a lot of projects.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like Ricky, he Instagram helped blow up his business to the point where he needed a space where people, instead of picking up from his house, they come in. And I don't know if his hours are different, but he only opens Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 12 to 5. But I helped him convert, or he took over an existing bakery, which, I mean, the whole restaurant business is a whole nother thing.
That's a whole other animal.
Yeah.
It's rough.
But,
it's rough.
Yeah, the health department in Alameda is pretty tough, but I helped him get through those approvals and with the city and now he's too small. He needs a bigger place.
Oh, what?
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah. So
well, a lot of so the biggest thing with business is just you're going to go up and down, and you're going to have challenges, and sometimes you might go really down. But as long as you just stick with it, you'll get through it, right? But most people give up after a certain period of time. I mean, you've been doing it for 8 years now.
8 years, on my own, and there was a time when I would just work like till 2-3 a.m. Because I mean, I'd lose track of time. The kids were asleep. No one was calling me. Yeah. And then it just starts to take a toll on your body. And a couple years ago, 2021, I had like a mini stroke.
Oh no.
Yeah,
no.
It was really crazy. Like, and I don't think I was working that hard, but I just had too many things. And I was sitting talking with my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and then I could just feel my face like twitching and like a pain in the back of my neck.
Really?
And then I was just trying to act like nothing happened. They were like, "What's wrong with it?" I was like, "Oh, you guys can see this." Like,
I thought it was just in here.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh," and then they were freaking out. Yeah. The ER. I'm like, "No, I'm okay." And then it just went away. And then like the following week, I got MRI and all the check and nothing. Like, luckily everything was fine. Yeah. They're like, "Yeah, we think you had a TIA, transient ischemic attack or something."
Wow.
So then that's when I'm like, okay, I don't need to work so hard. Yeah. Like, and then luckily, I work with mostly homeowners or like people who've known me a long time. So if they have to wait, they're like, okay, well,
Cheryl, sorry, do you have like a personal assistant at this point or no?
No, I need to.
So who answers all your emails and stuff like that?
I do when I can. So some, luckily there's like a way.
Do you have someone do your accounting or bookkeeping or anything?
Yeah, we have like another,
good.
consultant who does that.
Good.
And then I tried hiring an executive assistant. She was great at $50 an hour.
What?
Wow.
Which was a lot.
That's
it was a lot.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, maybe.
You can get one for like 8 to 10 in the Philippines.
Exactly. Yeah.
And remote for that kind of role is fine.
Yeah. So that I think I'm gonna do that soon.
Yeah.
But then after that, I realized, okay, no, drafters are more valuable to me as far as production help.
Yeah.
So I've always had drafters. So, yeah. So I just brought down my like actual working time. Like, okay, it's 9 to 5. Like I work when everyone works. Like if it's a holiday, I'll take the holiday. Cause I notice like if I work on holidays, people call me when, like, if I want to take any other day off, they call me. I'm like, oh, so let me take the day off with everyone else. Yeah. So then I think I've been stalling on expanding, marketing, branding,
scaling.
Yeah, because it's like I know it'll blow up because I meet 4 people and I get 4 new projects, So I'm like, okay.
So your close rate's pretty high.
Because I mean, you meet me, it's like, I can do this.
Yeah,
duh. And then I'm nice, so they're like, okay, yeah, let's work together.
Yeah.
So that's been a good, flow. But I don't have all the time in the world. I'm like, my kids.
Do you get most of your leads from firms or contractors or just referrals from
it's
customers?
Mostly contractors.
Okay.
I think mostly contractors, and then everybody, customers, firms, like contractors who see my name on plans.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. Wow.
Yeah. So it's because I think I'm in such a niche market.
Yeah.
Whereas like my pricing is more affordable. Yeah. So like someone who just wants, they're like, I just want to add 500 square feet. I'm not trying to build the Taj Mahal, so I'm not going to pay. I'm not going to pay $20,000.
You just got to upsell them on the Taj Mahal.
Yeah, see, yeah.
I know a guy that does landscaping for backyard projects. Not even like my backyard's huge, right? But like other backyards, they're just like a normal sized backyard.
Yeah.
Their designer charges like $30,000.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Yeah.
But they're good designs.
Yeah, they're really good. It's like he's like a nationwide known.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's where you'll be.
Eventually, yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah. Here.
Once you get your license.
Yes. 3 years from now, we'll have another podcast.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Yeah. So.
So what's your goals now?
So my goals now is like creating the SOPs. The getting it dialed down to where I can focus more on sales, and I like meeting with clients face to face and like, oh, this is what we could do. Or even just like quick sketches like afterwards, like, oh, like have you thought of this kind of stuff. Like I love the design side. So I'd love to just focus on that and then have like the whole, plans, production, marketing, everything, like all that happen somewhere else. Yeah. So right now it's setting up the systems, and then.
And you have a marketing company right now that you're paying, right?
Well, this guy, he's kind of figuring out his stuff too. So,
okay.
So I don't know. It's been good because it's gotten me to like think about like lead generations and now I'm realizing too with eMyth, like doing their whole like monthly calls that they do. The last one was about marketing, and marketing is more, I mean, just what I learned, but you guys know it's about like, it's ingrained in everything you do, how you do business. Yeah. So I want to get that set up. And then also, I forgot, I lost my train of thought, but he was saying how, marketing is like, it's not an afterthought. So that's what I need to figure out.
The big thing is like there's so many different forms, right? There's ads is where you're spending money, and then there's like everything else that's free. You got like email marketing, content marketing, social media marketing. You could do YouTube, you can do any of that stuff. Yeah. A lot of that starts with, like we tell everyone, just record every time you do something, just record it. Yeah. Right? And then you'll have, even if you don't use it, you still have it. It'll be good to look at. So I need to get an iPhone 16 to Pro Max. No. I was using a 13 for a while.
Oh, okay.
16s are Black Friday sale right now. Killer deal. $5 a month. You can't beat that.
That's not bad.
That's super cheap. Yeah. I was using a 13. So.
Yeah. But now I just remembered what I was gonna say. They really the main point of that session was that your customer doesn't like what you like.
Exactly. Yep.
So I was like, we bought a lot in Oakland, and I'm like, oh, this is how I want to build my house. I want it to be like off grid and high performance windows. So I'm like full on stuff. Like, oh, let me look into passive house because that's the house I want, and everyone should want this house. Yeah. But I told myself, okay, 2024, draw the line in the sand. I'm only working on high performance homes. But I got bills, mouths to feed, so I'm like, okay, so all my regular jobs kept coming. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. And then I'm like, no, my customers just want the design and the plans. Yeah. They don't care if they're paying more for energy.
Which is something maybe like as you get larger volume, then you can start outsourcing that stuff so you can focus on the strategy part, which is bringing the high performance homes.
Exactly. Yeah. Or even that's where I do my developer stuff. So I'll have set up the, design, residential design and permitting and stuff. And then I'll, in my free time, focus on developing passive houses or like affordable housing or something like that.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you'll find that most people, entrepreneurs, once they start growing bigger and bigger, they start giving back more, right? Doing like affordable houses and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. It just pains me. Like I'm here working on like multi-million-dollar homes in West Oakland. Yeah. And you drive by like the encampments. Like, it's...
So, like how do you find the balance, right?
Yeah.
It's tricky. Yeah. So how many more tests do you have?
I have one in a couple weeks. That's the sixth one. Yeah.
Okay. And is there 7 total or 6?
Well, 6 for the nation. Okay. So then I'm like accredited, and then there's one for where you want to work, like what state. So I want to be licensed in California.
So when do you have that one scheduled?
The California one. I haven't scheduled that one yet, but hopefully if I pass this one, then I'll do the other one.
Okay, perfect.
But it's getting close.
So Cheryl the architect within 12 months.
Oh, yes, for sure. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, call me for your hotel project.
Yeah, there you go, for the big commercial project.
Yes, I'll do it. Yeah.
That'll open up a lot of doors, though, for you, I imagine, commercially, if you start doing those bigger projects.
Yes, but I don't want to let a lot of architects are afraid to go on their own because of or the licensing but there's so much work for these small jobs. And then if like what you guys were saying with like you just amplifying the leads, and then because I'm still providing the same service
exactly.
So that's amazing.
Well, it's just exciting. Moving into more of that high ticket mindset. I mean, he kind of opened my eyes to that when we first met.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Well, thank you. Where can people find you online?
Right now you can just go to my website, CherylLima.com.
Okay, perfect.
That's it. Or call me.
You got social too?
Well, yeah. Cheryl.homedesign.
Okay.
But I think I need some help with
talk to him.
So use my personal advice is I usually tell people just to use their own for their business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can have a separate business one.
Yeah.
But having the own one, it gives you that authenticity because you're going to post stuff with your family and stuff normally.
It's better that way.
Business stuff on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because people buy from people,
They buy from people. They're not buying.
They're not buying from large brands.
They can hire any architect, right? They're buying from you.
Yeah.
Right, and what you represent. Yeah,
that's good. Yeah.
That's the common question we get asked a lot, right? It's like, oh, should I start a business Instagram or do my personal and then talk business about it? We were like, do your personal.
So just keep the personal, or should I change?
Convert your personal to professional.
Oh, so would it be like?
You would say Cheryl Lima. So we'll just go through a little bit of Instagram here. Yeah. So you'd have your name, whatever username, and then you'd have your regular name on there. Yeah. And then your bio will have all kind of what you do.
Oh.
Mother by day, architect by night, or something.
Or the
something
opposite.
Like that.
Developer by day.
Developer by day. Oh yeah, no architect
in the
yet.
future.
Pseudo architect.
Soon to be architect.
Soon to be
architect to be. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Wow, we're excited. So can't wait to bring her back.
Yes,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
When you designed all the buildings in San Francisco.
Oh, I know. That's
I would definitely recommend the Fountainhead though, because he's like finish it because the main protagonist in there, he like goes into like the theory on why he loves architecture and all that stuff,
okay.
and about how like You know, it's a lot more kind of like philosophy, but it's a really good book.
Okay, I'm gonna download the audiobook.
The audiobook, yeah. It's still a long one. It's still like 40 hours.
Okay.
Ayn Rand's books are long.
Yeah.
It's a good book.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, oh my God, this has been very helpful for me. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
This is so great. I'll have to